Welcome to the Burned spoilers. No, sorry. Flashbacks here. Welcome to the Smoke spoilers.
Ebook today, guys!
Yay!
Yay!
We're very intelligent people.
Burned had a very special place in our heart because it was our second review and it was in poetry and it was the first time we really got to go a little bit crazy.
And, I don't know, I went back and watched it. I really liked it. I thought we did a good job. So we kind of wanted to really do a follow-up, and look what happened. Ellen Hopkins wrote a sequel. Like, yes.
So, as in Burned, Smoke is written completely in poetry, and as in Burned, the only reason that you can read Smoke is because it is written completely in poetry.
It's still got her very overly dramatic style with crap you'd never thought you'd see in a book that mainly focuses on rape and family issues. Like, terrorists that like to what?
Shoot horses.
They like to shoot horses. They just like to go out and open fire, and they're giving it to the man.
As we said in the review, basically Burned worked in its own twisted way because it had a very cohesive progression in the fact that life sucks, life gets better, but you know it's gonna suck at the end, and bam. In Smoke, you're just wading through this plot like, okay, I'm on this farm. I was thinking that it would be more interesting if they found out who Peyton was.
Yeah.
That
would have been, like, believable drama versus, hey, we've got anarchists that are just shooting people up because reasons.
Especially, the daughter, man. I just had such, they introduced the daughter and I was like, this family, there are no real characteristics in this family. I thought at one point, okay, you know, this husband maybe he's having an affair because the relationship between the husband and wife is a little bit off.
Or maybe he'll make a move on Peyton.
Yeah.
Or, no, he has nothing to do with it. They really try to, like, help their older daughter out and, you know, make her life easy, and they seem like, you know, what, decent parents at least.
But the, mustache twirling one-sidedness that is the villain in this book is just this is Smoke and this is the villain. They're like two completely different things.
They are.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, then she introduced immigration issues, which was just like, what? Like, where is this coming from? Like, I guess we're talking about people that have been passed over by the system. Like, you have, like, the Mexican immigrants who kind of are outside the system, but apparently they still pay taxes and that kind of stuff. And then you have Peyton, who's kind of outside the system because of her upbringing.
And then you have the daughter who is trying to get outside the system. I don't know where this is going.
It's kind of, you read it and you thought about it, and it never quite connects, and you're making wild connections because you can, but they don't particularly make any sense.
I really missed the cougar, or the marijuana, or whatever it was, man. The other thing that I found extremely interesting with this book was that the LDS Church, it was, all of a sudden, it wasn't Mormonism. It was members of the LDS Church. Like, the terminology was correct. And it felt very much like she had done more research.
And maybe she did. I think she got some backlash from her first book, so maybe she went in and worked really hard to kind of fix that.
Where, like, in the first book, it was a generalization. All of this religion is like this. In this book, it's like,
this community.
This community. We're now community. We're not generalizations. Yes, this book did still use a lot of generalizations.
But it was better.
And another thing, when we were writing this review, it was very, very difficult because this book kind of deals with a lot more like it tries to portray stuff more seriously than it was portrayed in Burned. Like, and it's hard to talk about that.
Yeah, like we were trying very hard not to trivialize the issues that it talks about, and actually talk about the book itself, kind of thing. We do, like rape is not a laughing matter. It's just this book puts rape next to terrorists, and it kind of it trivializes itself. It uses it. What did we say? It throws all of these issues at you, and it's almost not the issue being thrown, it's the word. Yeah. And so you see this word, and you're supposed to feel something because of the word. It's not because of what the word means. Or what it's implying about what this word means. So it's giving you a situation, but it's not offering any solutions. It's not making any grand points. It's just using the issues because they're issues.
And they're going to elicit a shock from the reader. You're supposed to feel bad because it says you're supposed to feel bad. And I don't know, abuse, it's very hard to find, I guess, a good narrative, especially in teen fiction, that deals with this kind of thing, because there is that need to censor.
Yeah. I'd say Speak would be a good one. But anyways, moving on. I liked Jackie's perspective better.
Oh yeah, same.
Peyton was really boring for long stretches of time, and you're like, can we get back to Jackie? Because, I don't know, like, I liked her antagonist as an antagonist. He was a good antagonist.
Okay, Peyton, okay, just have to say Peyton. Peyton moves in with this family because she helps the daughter, or the sister, I forget, and she's like, oh, you can stay in Angel's room. My brother Angel, he's off working. You can just crash in his room until whatever. And she goes into this room, and she's like, oh, no, Angel's room. You can kind of smell this person. And I'm just like, oh my. He's going to show up at some point, and they are going to be the couple. This is going to be a couple. It's so
obvious. It's like, you don't even have to try. You're just like, oh, well, thanks. And I mean, Jackie's situation definitely trumps Peyton's situation. Yes. And I mean, I guess, like, when you're reading Jackie's situation, you actually kind of feel frustrated because her mother blatantly will, like, not acknowledge that this boy has done this to her. And
goes as far as it's kind of implied that her mother is seeing the father
of the guy who rapes her, and she like invites the family to dinner, so she has to sit across the table from her attacker, and so like you're sitting there feeling like frustrated and angry, and that was probably like the most real emotion that I ever got out of that series. Yeah. Oh, the mother's transformation at the end.
Oh yeah. Okay. So. Everybody, like, Jackie has been told, we just gotta move on, don't say, we've moved out of this house, we're going to start a new life, but Mom, I need to face this stuff. No, Jackie, just put it in the past, get over it. And so, Jackie is silenced, and she's lost all of her power throughout this, and so she has these kind of outbursts, and it's really interesting in how, and I kind of like how she kind of, the stuff to do with the father is very interesting. I know these are the spoilers, but I don't want to spoil it. And she gets up in church, and
she basically says, okay, you know what, this is what happened, this boy did this to me, I am going to the police now, thank you all for coming, thank you for listening, you've now heard me. And then the mother,
oh, you're so brave, I'm going to totally agree with you now, and it's gonna be awesome. Now, there are two different interpretations of this thing. There is the interpretation that I originally read it as woohoo, the mother is a nice person now. Or the one you gave me, which I like better.
Which is the mother like, oh, everybody's kind of agreeing with you now. I guess I should agree with you too. You are a good, brave girl. Thank you for opening my eyes. Which is how I didn't originally read it like that either. I was just kind of like playing devil's advocate when I said it. But the book really doesn't lend itself to that, I find. But,
And then there is the fanficky nature. And that's the fact that as we said, at the end of Burned, Peyton is just like, I'm gonna go get a gun and I am gonna just everyone. And you read that and you're just like, well, the interesting part of the book is happening now, but it doesn't exist in the book. And so it ends, whatever. Smoke starts, Peyton's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Whatever. Shot my dad, but I didn't actually shoot him. And then at the end of the novel, it's just the Hollywood ending where Peyton goes back to the farm and she has Angel and she's where Ethan is. And Jackie is now, her family is now in this nice, beautiful house where they're all happy and she has Gavin.
And she's in touch with her estranged brother and
yeah.
Life is all just perfect hunky-dory.
The end.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It was kind of, I want to say a letdown, but I didn't have very much expectation for it. So, I don't know, my favorite part was when Peyton is like, I have experience with horses. I've been on one for 5 minutes. I am the horse whisperer.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I was like, she watched a DVD and suddenly she's like God. She's like, yes, put that saddle on and bridle in your mouth and it's just like I saw a fellow horseback rider. It's just, it hurts me in here.
You're having my falling for Hamlet feels. As a person who loves Shakespeare and Hamlet being my favorite play, falling for Hamlet just wounded me. So I guess we're now on the same level.
Yeah.
And then there was also another really interesting subplot with portrayals of homosexuality. Gavin has 2 moms. Which, so Gavin is all like, gung-ho on anti-bullying.
Yeah, he's learned from experience about how to deal with bullying because he got a lot of flack as a kid from having 2 moms. So he finally overcame the peer pressure and is very proud of his family. So
which is good.
Yeah.
That's a good backstory. But I think
he doesn't have a personality really beyond that.
Yeah. I think the thing about these books is that there's no depth. Everyone is a stock character. So Peyton is sad. Gavin is
brave and kind
and yeah, it's the message is lost because you can't connect to the message.
Yeah, because there's just too much gap between you and the characters. They're just not realistic. There was something else I liked, but I can't remember what it was.
I didn't like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, really. Yeah, Jackie's antagonist was pretty good. I thought he was pretty realistic. Actually, out of everything.
I think that these 2 books...
Oh, I remember what it was. Sorry.
It's okay. I think that these 2 books have the potential to be good. If they were handled in a different way. Definitely maybe shave off some of the crazy drama and come in and focus on one thing would be very interesting. The first book dealt with abuse. And then maybe the second book dealing with the different varying views to homosexuality and how different groups view homosexuality.
Yeah, or they could have put 2 issues in there or something, but
yeah. Not this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and so it's not rapid firing at you.
Yeah.
What was your epiphany there?
Okay, I really liked, so here's the scene. Peyton and Angel's car breaks down.
Oh boy.
On the side of the road, and up come those terrorists, and they're like, your car broke down, well, let me shoot you. Bang, bang. And then Angel gets hit, and there's a hospital run, but what happens is Peyton sees them coming down the road, and she's like, okay, this is gonna be bad. So what she does is she goes into the car, she takes a pen, and she goes, the one who did this to me is Deirdre, whatever her last name was, and sticks a note in her pocket. And I thought that was brilliant.
Are we being serious brilliant, or?
No, really, because, like, what if she had gotten shot too, right?
True.
Like, then they know exactly who shot her, right?
True.
It's not
Yeah.
a mystery. That's wonderful. I was like...
A moment of clarity
Yeah.
in the fog.
That was, like, the best part of the book, okay? I thought that was great. That was my happy moment.
Okay, so final thoughts.
If you really want to read it, go ahead. The poetry's good.
Yeah, some of the poetry is actually quite nice. But
Just be warned that it's not the poster child of great books on issues, teen books on issues. There are a lot better ones out there.
mm-hmm.
If you want something that's very soap opera-ish and doesn't actually take up a lot of your thought processes, read it.
This book proved to me one thing, and that is Burned isn't actually that bad. Like, we thought, when I first read Burned, I thought this is probably the worst thing, in my opinion, that I have ever read. And then I read Smoke. And I was like, well...
Yeah, this was worse.
So, if you have any opinions, comments...
Would love to hear them and discuss them with you.
Yes.
But
So,
anyways,
we will
see you next week.
see you next week.